राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर जय जगन्नाथ जय बलादेव जय सुभद्रा जय गौरानिता जय गौरानिता जय गौरानिता जय गौरानिता जय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल जय गौरा हरि बोल जय सच्चिदानंदना जय सच्चिदानंदना जय सच्चिदानंदना गौर हरे जय सच्चिदानंदना जय सच्चिदानंदना जय सच्चिदानंदना गौर हरे गौरा गौरा गौर हरि गौरा गौरा गौर हरि जय सच्चिदानंदना गौर हरि गौरा गौरा गौर हरि Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jai Go Brahmanande, Hari Go. एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतस्य श्रीमद् निर्भंग देसी भक्त वेदांत संशोपाद की जय। एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतस्य श्रीमद् निर्भंग भक्त सिद्धांत ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। आनंद कोटि वैष्णव मंद की जय। नमाचार्य ललिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगामय यमुनामाई की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। तय गो ब्रह्मानंदे हरि गो। ऑल glories to assembled devotees. हरे कृष्णा। All glories to assembled devotees. हरे कृष्ण। All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories, all glories. Shri Guru and Gauranga Prabhupada ki jai. नमो विष्णु पदाय कृष्ण विष्टाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निद्रामणे नमस्ते सारस्वत देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारणे Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you for joining. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, Dhyana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, verse number 2 to 4. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Om Tat Sat. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse number 2. Yam sannyasam iti prahur yogam tam vidhi pandava nahi asanyasta sankalpo yogi bhavati kaschana. Yam sannyasam iti prahur yogam tam vidhi pandava nahi asanyasta sankalpo yogi bhavati kaschana. Yam sannyasam iti praho yogam tam vidhi pandava nahi asanyasta sankalpo yogi bhavati kaschana. Word to word. Yam, what? Sannyasam, renunciation. Iti, thus. Prahu, they say. Yogam, linking with supreme. Tam, that. Vidhi, you must know. Pandava, Osana, Pandu. Na, never. He, certainly. Asanyasta, without giving up. Sankalpa, desire for self-satisfaction. Yogi, a mystic transcendentalist. Bhavati, becomes. Kachana, anyone. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. What is called renunciation? You should know to be the same as yoga or linking oneself with Supreme. O son of Pandu, for one can never become a yogi unless he renounces the desire for sense gratification. Please repeat. What is called renunciation? You should know to be the same as yoga or linking oneself with the Supreme. O son of Pandu, for one can never become a yogi unless he renounces the desire for sense gratification. Verse number 3. Arurukshor muner yogam karma karanamuchyate yogarudasya tasyaiva samakaranamujyate. Arurukshor muner yogam karma karanamuchyate yogarudasya tasyaiva समः कारणमुच्यते आरुरुक्षेर्मये योगम् कर्म कारणमुच्यते योगारूढस्य तस्यैव समः कारणमुच्यते आरुरुक्षोर्मुनेर्योगम् कर्म कारणमुच्यते योगारूढस्य तस्यैव समः कारणमुच्यते. Word to word. Aruruksho, who has just began yoga, Mune of the sage. Yogam, the eightfold yoga system. Karma, work. Karanam, the means. Uchate is said to be yoga, eightfold yoga. Arudasya, one who has attained. Tasya, his. Eva, certainly. Sama, cessation of all material activities. Karanam, the means. Uchate is said to be. Translation by Sri Prabhupada. For one who is a neophyte in the eightfold yoga system, work is said to be the means. And for one who is study, who is already elevated in yoga, cessation of all material activities is said to be the means. Repeat. For one who is a neophyte in the eightfold yoga system, work is said to be the means. And for one who is already elevated in yoga, cessation of all material activities is said to be the means. What's number 4? यदा हि न इन्द्रियार्थेषु न कर्मसु अनुसज्जते सर्वसंकल्प सन्यासी योगारूढ तदुच्यते. यदा हि न इन्द्रियार्थेषु न कर्मसु अनुसज्जते सर्वसंकल्प सन्यासी योगारूढ तदुच्यते. यदा हि न इन्द्रियार्थेषु न कर्मसु अनुसज्जते सर्वसंकल्प सन्यासी योगारूढ तदुच्यते. यदा हि न इन्द्रियार्थेषु न कर्मसु अनुसज्जते सर्वसंकल्प सन्यासी योगारूढ तदुच्यते. Yada, when, he, certainly, na, not, indriyardheshu, in sense gratification, na, never, karmasu, in fruitive activities, anusajjate, one necessarily engages, sarva sankalpa, of all material desires, sannyasi, renouncer, yoga aruda, elevated in yoga, tada, at that time, muchyate is said to be. Translation, Mr. Prabhupada. A person is said to be elevated in yoga when, having renounced all material desires, he neither acts for sense gratification nor engages in fruitive activities. Repeat. A person is said to be elevated in yoga when, having renounced all material desires, he neither acts for sense gratification nor engages in fruitive activities. We'll try to understand these 4 verses. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं देवतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्. Gospel Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Thank you all for joining from this chat. What is that? Voice is too low. 1 minute. What now? It is full. How about now? Volume is full. Can anybody hear? 1 minute. Let me. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. We are good.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So, we are discussing the 6th chapter, continuation from last week, 2nd to 4th verse. Also tomorrow is Sunday, not tomorrow, Sunday is Ekadasi, and then Monday is also very, very important day. Sri Madhavendra Puri's Tirobhav, which is Govinda Dwadasi. It's also called very, very important day because he is the main personality from whom the actual Krishna Prema has been given. So he is especially the highest rasa, Madhur rasa, Vatsalya rasa, the highest rasas has been given from him, and Krishna Prema was given, distributed very freely. From Madhavendra Puri's disciple is Iswara Puri's disciple is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna appeared in that lineage in that way. So has taken initiation from Iswara Puri, and Iswara Puri's disciple Madhavendra Puri, spiritual master. So his disappearance. So we'll read something from Chaitanya Mangal and Chaitanya Bhagavat and continuation of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showing 6-armed form. We'll also see how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed Krishna's form of Krishna to his mother, and then this Madhavendra Puris. Then we'll discuss the Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's. We'll try to quickly cover this Gita verses, and then we'll come to that. So quickly to recap, there are 6 sections in this chapter. This is called Dhyana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and why Krishna is describing these, and then we'll come to the second verse onwards. So 1 to 4 is an advanced in yoga through detached work or renunciation of work. That is the first section. We are in the first section. The 5 to 9 is Yoga Rudha stage, is giving up the work. Yoga Rudha means highest stage, highest stage. And then the third section is 10 to 32 is further stages in the practice of yoga. And then the fourth section is 33 to 36, necessity of controlling turbulent mind. Arjuna is asking the question. And then 37 to 45 is the fifth section. Is the destination as unsuccessful yogi? This is the second question Arjuna is asking. 2 questions Arjuna asks in the 6th chapter. This is in the 4th and 5th sections. And the last section is 46 to 47, topmost yogi. In this way, we see this chapter is laid out. How? So first and foremost, it is starting with this first verse. Sri Bhagavan Uvach Anasritya Karma Phalam Karyam Karoti Sa Sannyasi Na Niragni Cha Priya. So one must, sannyasi means one who is giving up the desire for the fruits, attachment to the fruits, desire for sense self-satisfaction or desire for sense enjoyment, is giving up that is actually real sannyasi. So anasritya, asritya means shelter, anasritya one who doesn't take shelter of the fruits, is not attached to the fruits. Anasritya karma phalam, is working just like a mother. Mother is looking for any results. Mother is looking for fruits, some benefits. When she is changing the diapers, when she is serving her baby, when she is feeding the baby, when she is taking care of so many things, cleaning up and whatnot, day in, day out, years and years. So she is not expecting anything. That is the closest we can get without expecting anything in return. She is not looking for anything in return. She is not attached to any result. Just simply serving. This is out of a real love, genuine love, and the mother is serving. So the same way, so that's where the actual real relationships, everything starts in the spiritual world. Whatever we see in this material world is a perfected reflection of the spiritual world. It has a desire, it has other benefits. It is mixed with other material modes, tinges, passion, ignorance, and goodness. And that is the main thing. That is the problem. So that's why Krishna is emphasizing in this chapter, because the last chapter so far has been describing again and again, chapter after chapter, stressing on this point of don't be attached to results. Come to the Nishkama Karma. That is the beginning. So that's why in the 2nd to 4, let me quickly recap what we discussed. The first verse, understanding the first verse is why Krishna is expressing is, so everyone has to come to perfection. So somebody may be at lowest stage. So that's why Krishna is presenting all kinds of all processes, karma yoga, jnana yoga. So jnana yoga is also called sankhya yoga, and then this ashtanga yoga also. So that they all can come to the path of perfection. And then another way to is to control the senses, because not everybody can control the too much attached to the body and senses enjoyment. So for them also this has been given. Gradually they may be, initially they may worship demigod, they may offer various things to get something in return. So gradually they will be elevated step by step. So that is another reason. And then we also because too much attachment to the body, and we also said before prescribing the topmost process, so then we know so that what is the topmost, what is the lowest stage. So various stages has been described, so that we understand the highest process of bhakti, which is in the middle six chapters. And then so there, because there are many people on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, so that's why Krishna is describing. Arjuna is in bhakti yogi, but not everybody is on that same platform. And then we discuss there are various types of bhaktas also, Sakama Bhakta and Nishkama Bhakta. Sakama Bhakta means one who has desires, just like Dhruva Maharaj having a desire. We'll be reading that also. Dhruva Maharaj will read quickly again, and then we'll see how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after hearing that pastime of Dhruva Maharaj, Sachi Mata also wants to get something. So then Mahaprabhu shows his form, Krishna's form to Mother Sachi. That we'll read also. So these are the various ways. And then for devotees is mainly how to become a servant of Krishna is telling. So don't depend, utterly dependent on the Supreme Lord, and become servant of the Supreme Lord. Become, always serve. Don't be attached to result, just simply serve, and then everything else will be followed automatically. So just like the service, how the service should be done is shown by Lord Hanuman. Hanuman is an expert in the service. I heard a pastime where Hanuman was so much engaged in service, he is never want to give up service. So without service, he cannot leave a moment. That's that is the highest standard. Hanuman is in category. So so then Lord Ramachandra obviously has given many services to Hanuman. Then he's doing services. Then he's doing not one person's Bharat service, Lakshman service, everybody's, including even Sita Devi service. He has taken all services, all service. Then they are all gathered together and trying to. Then they prepared in such a way that then Sita Devi made a big list that okay, this service assigned to this person, this service, everything was assigned from morning to night. Everything related to Ramachandra service, everything was assigned to everybody else. So nothing is there for Hanuman. Then Lord Ramchandra, Hanuman came to Lord Ramchandra and submitted. You have promised that you will, I have worshipped, and then I asked for benediction that you all will always be engaged in the service. But now I don't see, there is no service. What can I do? What can I do? Then he is simply simply meditating on Lord Ramchandra. Then he thought, yeah, I will do one service. When you are sleeping, while you are yawning, that service nobody has taken. While yawning, then I will just make this sound. Then and then he also started using that nadaswara, nice music, nice sound for Lord's pleasure. So in this way, one who is actually determined to do service, attached to the service, he will never give up service for anybody. Whatever menial, whatever smallest service, he will always look for opportunity, very service. So that is how the Hanuman was, to such an extent that Sita Devi said, "No, this cannot be. You are sleeping, and he cannot be there. She was very shy." And then he told, "Do something." Then Lord Ramachandra said, "Yes, at least you stay outside and do it. While I am yanning, you say, then how will I see?" Then he said, "Yeah, you will be able to know." Then he started doing the nadaswar and making the sounds. Then nobody is able to sleep, and so in this way it went on. Then finally they understood that. So then Lord Ramachandra told, "You have to give some service." Because it's all problem started because you have taken up every service and you didn't give anything to Hanuman. So then he must need service. Then Lord Ramachandra makes sure that then they all decide that no, you do all services. Whatever service you want to do, you do. And then they gave up. So Hanuman is ready to do whatever service for the pleasure of Lord Ramachandra. So that this is how the service attitude should be. That's why he's not expecting anything in return though. He's not expecting anything in return. So that's how here it is. First verse is very very important for even for those are devotees also practitioners of bhakti yogi. Uh, so that's why there is a big difference between the so first verse also it means never give up prescribed duty. Not only the actual service but also prescribed duty means serving the family, serving taking care of whatever as a guardian family members or the work or whatever prescribed duties we have depending on the varna and ashram, brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra or brahmachari, grihastha, vanapras, sannyas, taking care of the family, parents, and doing the job, country, whatever position we may have. So all those duties, one should not never give up those service, never give up the charity, austerity. This has been mentioned Bhagavad Gita again and again. What is that? Yajnadana tapakriya natyajyam pavanani manishina. So one must always engage in the austerity, charity, and sacrifices. At the same time, also prescribed duties, taking care of the duties of our position. So that's the first verse is also telling another instruction is one must not give up their work capriciously, just abruptly. Oh, it is too much for me to handle. I will give up this family life and go somewhere. Many of the jnanis or yogis, they want to give up. They are fed up with the something they cannot tolerate. They are not able to tolerate. They give up the family because it is not child play. So that's why once it's married, that's it. Whether you like it or not like it, that's as per the Vedic injunctions. That is from beginning to end. One must carry on. It is together to serve the Supreme Lord. That is what Grihastha ashram. It is not any other purpose. Main purpose is only to serve the Supreme Lord. So whether we like it or not, because two individuals means they have their own desires and individuality. So it is very difficult to be in the same line. So without a doubt, especially in Kali Yuga, it's even more difficult. But one must continue on. So engaging in the service of the Supreme Lord, prescribed duties, taking care of the family, at any point should not be given up. Prabhupada also has mentioned that children are Vaikuntha children, you must take care of. That is the first and foremost duty. So at any point, don't think that Krishna consciousness means we neglect our priorities of taking care of the actual needs and prescribed duties and just run away and do just I will do Krishna service and I'll leave everybody else. No, that is a wrong notion. That is not is been mentioned here. Rather, Krishna is telling Arjuna, his prescribed duty is to fight. So, but actual primary purpose is Krishna is telling, Mam Anusmara Idyacha. At the same time, you remember me. You are doing it for me. Prescribed. So do in that way. Means you are serving your nation, community, your family, but in thinking that they are all servants of Krishna, they are all part and parcel of Krishna. It's not for today. They are the family members, but last life and future life, whatever they are, still part and parcel of Krishna. In that way, you must serve. So then there is no question of superiority or ego, this, that, so many things. Why should I take care? Why should I do that? So this is what the in today's problem, Kali Yuga's problem is, because nobody is thinking they are part and parcel of Krishna. That is the first fundamental problem. So that's why they're all attached to the results. So that's why the Nitya Siddhas and Nitya Baddhas, the Nitya Siddhas never comes to this material world. Nitya Siddhas means perfected souls. They are always in the spiritual world. 3/4 of the whole Brahmanda in the spiritual world. Material world is 1/4. They are the Nitya Baddhas. Those who are in the material world is Nitya Baddhas, conditioned souls. So Nitya Siddhas are like those who are in the water of the ocean, the fishes, the sharks. They never come to rivers. They never come to lakes. But the rivers, all the rivers, lakes, all the fishes and various types of living entities in these rivers and lakes, they merge into the ocean. They come and merge into the ocean, but not the other way. So Nitya Siddhas are eternal liberated. They never want to be separate from the Supreme Lord. They always want to be in service. This is a Nitya Siddha and Nitya Bhav. That is a big difference. Because they know that Supreme Father, Supreme Lord, and they also do with out of love and affection. Like Yashoda Mai. Just like we read the past time also before, when Lord Krishna and Balaram walked into the Mathura, arena of Mathura before killing Kamsa, the three personalities we read, washerman, washerman is thinking that I am the, actually I am serving Kamsa. Kamsa is my master. So he forgot about Krishna, he forgot about God. Everybody is partner. That concept is not there. Jivya Sarupa Nitya Krishna, that is not there. He's just simply thinking Kamsa and I am the master. I was thinking I am the master and he is the master and I should serve everybody else. I don't care about anybody else. So when Krishna and Balaram walked in, he couldn't recognize because he's popped up with so many unwanted things, no proper knowledge, no proper identity. So that's why it is self-satisfaction also is there. So that's why he couldn't recognize. Rather, he chastised Krishna and Balaram. He didn't give, even though they asked to give some clothes. He didn't give. You dare to ask. You know who is Kamsa. So you'll be fear. They will catch you. Their soldiers will catch you. So then immediately Lord Krishna, with his just simply by his hands, he was being killed. Everybody else ran away. Washerman's associates all ran away. This is completely in the, because he was too much attached to the results. He was thinking Kamsa is the master, but actually Supreme Proprietor, Supreme Master, he completely forgot. So that's why one must serve the actual real master. We may be serving whoever in job or in workplace, in different, we may be serving family, but ultimate understanding one must have. This is the Supreme Master, the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. It is just like the parts of the body supposed to serve the whole. The hand, the legs, the fingers. They think that they feel independent. Suddenly, hand doesn't want to put the food in the mouth. Then what will happen to the whole? Whole cannot survive. The hands also will not survive. Same way, we are the part and parcel of Supreme Lord. Mamai Vamso Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Sarva Yonishu Kante, Sambhavanti Murte. So many verses in Gita and in other scriptures also it is mentioned. So we are part and parcel of Krishna. So then what is the job of the part? Just like the one part is gone from your car or a machine in home, then it must be attached. Then only there is use. If it is detached, then there is no use. You throw it. Something is broken, what you will do? Either you attach to the main part, then it will work, that's fine. Otherwise, you will throw it. It's no use. Same way, as long as this body, which is part and parcel of Krishna, if it is not used in the Lord's service, yatha tharora moolam nishechana skanda pujopasaka pranopahara titindriyana sarvahanam atujejya. Just like the water pouring on the root, automatically all the branches, leaves, twigs, everything gets energized, nourished by simply watering. The same way, by serving the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, thinking everybody is part and parcel. So also we serve in that with that knowledge we serve everybody else, not attached results. What they are going to give me in return, like a mother serving the child without expectation. That is the closest we can get. In that way, the same the garland maker. He was ready to give as soon as he could. He was simple. That's why devotion service means heart must be simple. One who is duplicitous, one who is crooked mind, one who is not simple, then his bhakti can never be generated. There is no love. It's all simply attachment and what can I get in return? Keep on increasing our attachment to material things. This is what is the biggest problem. But the other way is completely attached to Krishna. Everything belongs to Krishna. So utter dependence on Krishna, like Hanuman. So this flower maker, he is completed, even though he is simple. The flower maker, how much he is going to earn in a day? Not much, but he is simple, he is satisfied, and he could recognize the Supreme Lord. Immediately he offered, without thinking, oh, he is not going to, whether he will give money or not, he is not expecting anything. He is ready to offer everything. Rather, he asked, how can I serve you? Same thing, and the fruit vendor also, same thing we saw. So the complete difference. Those who are simple, those who are naturally thinking about the Supreme Lord from beginning. That's why it is mentioned in the beginning of Bhagavad chapter 2. Bhogaisvarya prasaktanam taya apaharata chetasam. One who is too much puffed up with the knowledge, austerity, knowledge and wealth and beauty, so all these aspects. But he will never take up Krishna consciousness because he is too much puffed up. Why should I surrender to God? I don't need to surrender to God. Even if somebody force me to come, I'll come to temple, but I'll never bow down. I'll never worship. I'll never want develop love for Krishna. So that's why it is very important thing. One must develop love. Out of love, one must do. So then you will not be attached to result because you are not doing with attachment. You are not doing with expectation in return. That is Sakam Bhakta, which is fine. But Krishna is stressing this point. Give up that these desires gradually we must give up. Then we will become Nishkama Bhakta. Then there is the higher stage. That's why it is mentioned. Even Arjuna's case also is actually a lower stage. If you read Krishna book in the chapter 6 or 7, or even Srimad Bhagavatam later on in Krishna book and Srimad Bhagavatam in some of the canto 4, it is explained, Prabhupada is explaining the purports that Arjuna is also in the on reverence, in the friendship, is in the Sakyaras, but it is at the lower stage. Vidhi, Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, in the lower stage of Sakyaras, is still in the lower stage. Is Aishwarya Bhav. His friendship is not in a higher rasa, in a Raganuga stage. He is not in that Raga stage. So he is in the Aishwarya Sakyaras. There is a word used, I forgot. Not Ragatmika Sakyaras. There is another word used for that ras Sakyaras. So here Aishwarya Sakyaras is in Arjuna's case. But when it comes to the covered by Sudham, Sridham, Madhumangal, all them, they don't have any feeling that Lord is supremely powerful. Yes, they know that Krishna can do anything and everything. That they don't know that he's God. They are not captured of Krishna by their wealth. Rather, they are simply know that Krishna is the best friend. So he is the well-wisher. So they are jumping up and down on him, and he is also Lord Krishna is also carrying them on his shoulder. So he's out of deep love and affection, intense affection and attachment. And there always so much intense affection is there. So that is what actually out of love. They are not expecting anything in return. So they are just simply out of love. So then naturally you will not be attached to results. If there is no love, then will be attachment. Something in return we are always seeking. So that love is missing. We are coming to temple, we might be worshipping, but because there is no love, there is attachment to various things. We want something in return. So that's why you can see Prahlad Maharaj. For one who is performing this process of bhakti at the highest stage, that's why this here in the second verse to fourth verse, yoga ladder has been described. The first and second verse are glorifying Lord Krishna is glorifying the process of bhakti, glorifying the process of yoga. In one sense, yoga and sannyas is not different. The second verse we just read is describing about asanyasta sankalpa. Sannyas means giving up. Asanyasta means not giving up. What is not giving up? Sankalpa means desire for self satisfaction, desire for sense enjoyment. So he will never give up. So one who is a yogi, true yogi, he will always ready to give up the desire for sense enjoyment. Desire for sense enjoyment. Sannyas means giving up. Desire for giving up. Asanyasta means not giving up. Is not giving up desire to serve. Rather, actually, is ready to give up all kinds of desires just to serve the Supreme Lord. So he is the true yogi. So in one sense, there is no difference between the yoga and sannyas. Sannyas is also satnyas, means using his mind, body, word to serve the Supreme Lord. He will completely renounce of the material desires. That's what actual real sannyas means. Yoga also is the same thing. So in one sense, there is no difference between yoga. Yoga means linking, linking a living entity with the supreme, linking of the part and parcel to the whole. Then there is use. So that is what has been explained second. The third and fourth verse are explaining one who's in the beginning stage, he must work. He must work. Even though he may be attached to result gradually, initially he may be attached to result, but he must perform the work. Prescribed duty he must do. That's why it is called yoga. So yoga arurukshu. Yoga arurukshu. Arurukshu is the beginning stage, and yoga ruda is the highest stage. So it is compared as a ladder. On a ladder you may have so many steps. The highest ladder, highest stage is called yoga ruda, and the beginning stage is called yoga arurukshu, beginning stage. So one must, even for those Ashtanga yogis, even whether it is Karma yogi or Gnana yogi, even Bhakti yogi also, one must perform service. One must. Everybody in this world, everybody is serving, whether it's a president or whatever post, a parent or child, everybody is serving the other. But actually, the service is misplaced. They are not. They are now we are not engaged in the service mood of thinking that everybody is part and parcel of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is the master. He is the actually providing everything. He is the supreme master. We are the servant. They are not in that way serving. Actually, they are serving in expectation from others. So that's why there is a problem of attachment, attachment to the results, and because it is not done out of love. Nobody is serving in this world. Even though there may be little love, but there is no complete. There is impurities are there. There is some expectation is still there. But like Prahlad Maharaj, like Lord Hanuman, how Lord Hanuman served, like Prahlad Maharaj also, when Narsingadev asked, they said, I am not here ready to do business. The master also shouldn't be asking. If he is ready, he is doing business, then he is not the real master. And servant also, if he is trying to do some business with the master, then he is not the real servant. Prahlad Maharaj was not ready to take anything from Narsingadev. So still Narsingadev asked so many times, then you forgive my father. So that's what he asked. And let me be always engaged in the service. I have so many duties to perform. Because Narada Muni, my spiritual master, has given me so much mercy. I have to distribute this knowledge to others. So many living entities are suffering in this world. So if I come back, then it is not good for me. So let me see Bhajananandi, Prahlad Maharaj. That's why you see that for one who is performing Krishna consciousness, naturally is automatically, he doesn't need to externally try to control the senses. This yoga process, what has been described in this second to fourth verse, or continues this whole chapter, is to control the senses. But that is mechanically following the process of this sitting and asana, following the pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, samadhi, in these 8 steps, is mechanically we have to follow these steps to control the senses. But the Krishna consciousness automatically, naturally, automatically controls the senses. So that's why we don't need to externally try for this process of Ashtanga Yoga. That's why we can see under in 11th canto, Lord Krishna is speaking to Uddhava. This is all material. This Ashtanga Yoga, the benefits, everybody is looking for benefits, especially Karma Yogi and then Ashtanga Yogi, even the Gnana Yogi. The Mayavadi is also looking for benefit. They want to enjoy. They want to enjoy Brahma Sayudhya Mukti. They want to merge into the Brahman effulgence. Brahman, they want to become Narayan. They think that initially they want Guru. They go up the ladder and then they throw the ladder. No more Guru. They think they are Narayan. So that is so. But the devotees for Bhakti Yogi, it is not the conception, because Guru is always there. Even when you go to spiritual world, everybody is serving under someone's guidance, under Srimati Radharani. Radharani's associates guidance. Guru is the associate of Srimati Radharani, associate of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. That's why you see 6 Goswamis always serving. They give up the big posts and always serving. So they are the associate of Srimati Radharani. They are always serving others. So especially Rupa Goswami is serving under Lalita and Vishaka Sakhi, Ramanand Rai and Sarup Damodar Goswami. When Raghunath Das Goswami came to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission in Jagannath Puri, then what did Mahaprabhu do? Mahaprabhu gave him to the shelter of Sarup Damodar. Now that's why he is called Sarupa Raghunath. There are different Raghunaths, so that's why he is called Sarupa Raghunath. So you take shelter and he will give instructions, not me. You don't need to ask anything. You ask Sarup Damodar. Sarup Damodar is Vishaka Sahi and Ramanand Rai is Lalita Saki. So all six Goswamis are serving them. Even the eternal spiritual world, they are serving. Like that. Gurus are always serving the associate of Srimad Radharani. So instructions, the link of Guru is always there even in the spiritual world. This is the process of bhakti. So that's why Prahlad Maharaj was never looking for, and for those who are performing Krishna consciousness, all the benefits are there. So for those yogis are getting these 8 mystic perfections. But in Uddhava Gita, we will see that there are 8 plus 10 plus 5, almost 23 perfections. But all this is at a lower degree and it is material, only in the material world. But all these without externally trying, for Prahlad Maharaj, he was able to get to the perfection. Like Bhishma Pitama, Itya Mrutyu, that is also that is been given, but that is given by his father for the boon that is been given. But actually, Icha Mrutyu is also one of the perfection living entity can get by the process of this Ashtanga Yoga. But in Kali Yuga, it is extremely rare to get. But still, that is material. That's not going to take us back to the spiritual world. It is still material. There are 25 perfections, 23. 8 are anima, lagima, prakamya, lighter than, become lighter than the lightest, heavier than the heaviest, greater than the greatest. So all these aspects. But these all there in the source is in the spiritual world. Supreme Lord Sri Krishna had. That's why when Prahlad Maharaj was thrown into that is 8 mystic primary mystic perfections are anima, lagima, mahima. Smaller than smallest, heavier than the heaviest, lighter than the lightest, and then vasita, prakamya, ishta vasita, kamya vasita. So all these aspects are the 8 of them. So you can get whatever you want, what you desire. So you can be controlled various things. All these are 8 mystic primary, and then there are 10 secondary perfections. So you can control so various things. And then the third aspect is you'll be controlled, even fire, water, poison, snake. Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. So that's why when Prahlad Maharaj was thrown into fire, thrown into water, ocean, thrown into mountains, thrown into poisonous snakes, nothing has happened to him. So the perfections of these mystic perfections coming from yoga process automatically obtained by Prahlad Maharaj. He didn't do Ashtanga Yoga, but by simply performing, becoming a great devotee, automatically he attained all those. So that's why they don't need the devotees doesn't need to externally try for this. Automatically, when it is needed, Lord Krishna will arrange these things when it is needed. So that's why. So now quickly we'll recap, and then we'll read from Chaitanya Mangala and Chaitanya Bhagavat. So 6.1 we discussed. Suddenly we should not give up prescribed duties. Karyam karodiya. That's what. So that's when Nishkama Karma is, Krishna is stressing chapter after chapter from all the way from chapter 2. Lord is praising that Nishkama Karma Yoga because that is the first step even for the yogis. Nishkama Karma has to be there. Otherwise the senses he will never be able to control. There is no question of pratyahar. Pratyahar means taking controlling the senses, making the senses away from the objects of the senses. That means he must become free from these material desires. So it is not. That's why the karma, Nishkama Karma, Krishna is stressing. He didn't. Otherwise, Krishna could have started Ashtanga Yoga all the way in chapter 2. Because even for Ashtanga Yoga also this is required. Bhakti Yogi, this is required. This must be understood. That's why this has been described before itself. That is one of the reasons why Krishna is giving this topic on Nishkama Karma Yoga before Bhakti Yoga. So then second verse is talking about sannyasa equal to yoga. There is no difference of sannyasa and yoga. Both are same. And then one cannot become a yogi, whatever yogi they may be, but they cannot become a yogi unless one give up the desire for sense enjoyment. That's why without giving up, asanyasta sankalpa, desire for self-satisfaction. Now in the Prabhupada commentary, Prabhupada is also making constitution position as jiva that we discussed Jivya Swarupa Nitya Krishna Das. And then this is the difference is one who is conscious of his true identity. Every day we must be. That's why we chant. This is to revive that lost relationship, to be stay focused on the true identity. When we are chanting, we must be focused. Our true identity is servant of Krishna. Despite doing the whole day, whatever services we may have to take care. So, but this by constant practice, we'll be able to come to the true identity. So initially it may not go away that identity of the body, bodily conscious, but gradually it will go away by the process of practice. Abhyasa yogyuktena chetasana nigamana. Otherwise, we will be entrapped by the material energy rather than covered by the spiritual energy, internal energy of the Lord. Rather, we will be covered by material energy. The thing is mentioned restraining the senses from material attachment. For yogi, it's a great difficulty to control this whole process. He has to mechanically try. But for Krishna conscious person, that's why one must engage in service, like Hanuman's example I gave. Then naturally he is engaging. For him, he doesn't need to externally try for something. Automatically, he will be able to control this, and he will be able to come to the Nishkam karma process. So that's why Krishna conscious person is already simultaneously a sannyasi. Whether in Grihastha Ashrama, he is still sannyasi because he is not attached. Everything belongs to Krishna. I am serving. He is the supreme master. I am the servant. So that is, he is yogi and he is also sannyasi. So that's why real aim is to serve the Supreme Lord and Guru. So that must one please the Supreme Lord and Guru. And then we discussed about Nitya Baddha and Nitya Siddha. Then we gave the example also. Fully in love and dependent on the Lord and Lord's service. Service must be there always. Whenever we talk about bhakti, service is included. Bhajata. Bhajata means one must do service. Without service, there is no question of love, there is no question of wherever you see. So that's why devotee means there is always service. You look at Pandavas, Prahlad Maharaj, they are always serving. So in different rasas, different mellows. The gopis, what are they doing? Uddhava, what is he doing? He is always serving. So that's why it is out of love. Love means there is service. We will never give up service. So that's what has been described. And then Aruruksho, engage in prescribed duties. And Yoga Rudha is the cessation of all activities. In the beginning stage is Aruruksho. At that time, one must engage in duties. But when it comes to the highest stage, he will execute duties for them to teach others. But otherwise, he doesn't need to do because he has the highest perfection, cessation of all activities. And we discussed the yoga ladder consists of multiple steps, just like a mechanical ladder consists. Same way, karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, slash ashtanga yoga, and then bhakti yoga. The topmost process is bhakti process. So these are the various ladders, starting with karma yoga, and then topmost is bhakti yoga. So the beginning of the ladder is this, Arurukshu, and then highest ladder is Aruda. And then what else? Yeah. And then in this world, everybody is acting with self-interest, concentrated or extended. And then parts of the body is to serve the whole, same way as Jiva must serve the whole. And then Yogi wants some material power and mystic perfections that we described. So that's why serving the Supreme Lord is the actual real sannyas. Serving anything else is called serving Maya, illusion. So that's why one must do always serve the Supreme Lord. So in this way, then we'll read from Srimad Bhagavatam, quickly one verse, and then Prahlad Maharaj has been mentioned. Then we understand the verse. Just as the bodies of aquatics cannot be injured by water, similarly the body of yogi whose consciousness is pacified by devotion to me, and one who is fully developed in yoga science cannot be injured by fire, sun, water, poison, and so forth. The creatures dwelling in the ocean are never injured by water, rather they enjoy life within watery medium. Similarly, for one skilled in the techniques of yoga, fending off attacks by weapons, fire, poison, and so on is a recreational activity. Prahlad Maharaj was attacked by his father in all these ways, but because of his perfect Krishna consciousness, he was not injured. The pure devotees of the Lord depend fully on the mercy of Lord Krishna, who possesses mystic opulences to an infinite degree and is therefore known as Yogeshwara, the master of all mystic powers. Because devotees are always connected to Lord Krishna, they do not feel any need to separately develop powers already possessed unlimitedly by their Lord, Master, and Protector. So if human being falls into the middle of the ocean, he quickly drowns, whereas the fish enjoy happiness floating in the same waves. Similarly, the conditioned souls have fallen into the ocean of material existence and are drowning in the reactions to their sinful activities, whereas the devotees recognize this world to be the potency of the Lord and enjoy pleasurable pastimes within it by fully engaging in the loving service of the Lord. So, so that's why they are prescribing Bilamangal Thakur's Bhakti Stiratara Tvai Bhagavan Disya Daivena Nai Palate Divyakshora Murti Bhukti Mukti Swaya Mukulitanjara Sevate Asma Dharmardaka Moksha Samaya Pratiksha. There it is quoted. My devotees become unconquerable by meditating on my opulent incarnations, which are decorated with Srivatsa and various weapons and are endowed with imperial paraphernalia such as flags, ornamental umbrellas, and fans. So that's why one must meditate on the Lord's personal form of the Lord, and he is always protected by the Lord. So this is what this first few verses are describing: how to engage in the service, be attached to the Lord's service out of love. Now we'll read from Chaitanya Mangal. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We'll read from Dhruva Maharaj, then we understand. The lotus eyed Lord Vishnu, smiling slightly, spoke sweetly. Narada, I don't show my mercy to one who is not initiated. I also don't take offense from one who is not initiated. I'll surely give my mercy to anyone who gives up his parents, goes to Madhuvan, and meditates upon me while performing severe austerities. Narada, a non-devotee can take birth in the womb of a devotee. On my behalf, a Vaishnava can tolerate any difficulty. I'll always give my mercy to a devotee. Therefore, I will give Dhruva whatever he wants. I am bound by the ropes of prema bhakti of my devotee. I can never neglect a devotee who thinks of me. Narada said, my lord Dhruva is initiated by me, so please show your mercy. Go see him and relieve him from the fire of material existence. Lord Vishnu boarded Garuda and flew quickly to Madhuvan forest to see Dhruva. Smiling gently, Lord said, Dhruva, my boy, I came from Vaikuntha to give you a boon. His meditation broken, Dhruva stood up happily with folded hands and said, O Lord, what boon should I ask for? Please give me your mercy. This will expand your fame and glory. Lord Vishnu said, I will definitely fulfill your desires and give you whatever position you want. Why have you come to Madhuvan? Is it because your stepmother kept you off the throne? If I don't award you a high position, how can I keep the title of fulfiller of all desires? Dhruva said, I consider high position as insignificant as a blade of grass. Unless one becomes your devotee, all other achievements are as worthless as a heap of ashes. Lord Vishnu said, I will give you all the jeweled thrones. You will achieve the topmost post in the three worlds. You, the son of Uttanapada, will become the king, and all your subjects will receive my favor. Your abode will be called Dhruvaloka, which will be located above all the planets of the sages. After saying this, Vishnu disappeared. On the Lord's order, Vishwakarma built Dhruvaloka. You see, Lord personally requesting Vishwakarma to build this Dhruvaloka just below him, where Kshirodaka Sai, Kshirodaka ocean, in that Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu lying down, just below that only Dhruva star, pole star is there. Upon receiving this boon, Dhruva started for home. King Uttanapada greatly grieved in the absence of Dhruva. Even his mean stepmother cried and worried about his well-being. The king said, I am causing distress and misfortune to my son, my own son. Oh, when will I see my son again? He said to Dhruva's mother, Suniti, from now on he will be my chief queen, and all my other queens will serve you. Overwhelmed by not seeing his son Dhruva, the king fell to the floor unconscious. At that moment, the great sage Narada Muni came to the palace. The king worshipped Narada with proper rituals. After washing Narada's feet, the king revealed his mind to the sage. The king said, I had a 5-year-old son, but he left home without telling me. Narada said, your son Dhruva faced many difficulties in the forest. He has become a devotee of Krishna and will soon come home. Narada quoted Sanskrit word. Blessed are those ancestors whose family member become a pure devotee. A pure devotee purifies his entire family and the whole world. He becomes His home becomes famous throughout the world. The demigods and forefathers on the higher planet also become blessed. That mother whose son is a pure devotee is the real mother. But that mother who produces 100 non-devotee sons is no longer no better. Narada continued. When one becomes a Vaishnava, he delivers his parents, family members, and other relatives. Your son worshipped Sri Krishna. Know for certain that your son Dhruva is the crest jewel of your dynasty. The king became extremely satisfied with Narada's talk. He ordered his servant to prepare an auspicious reception for Dhruva. They sprinkled sandalwood scented water on the streets, collected fragrant flowers of garland, musk, kumkum, yogurt, and Dhruva gas. The king and his royal entourage ran to welcome his son. He gave Dhruva a warm embrace, sat him on his lap, and kissed him again and again. King Uttanapad immediately enthroned Dhruva, turning over his kingdom to his son. Then the king retired to his forest. In a joyful mood, Dhruva ruled the kingdom for some time. With the power and valor, Dhruva maintained his subjects peacefully for 40 years. Then he took his mother and went to Dhruvaloka, pole star, far above the abodes of most demigods. Actually, 36,000 years. Srimad Bhagavatam, year, maybe, I don't know, this 40 years are demigod years or what. But in our calculation, 36,000 years, Dhruva ruled. Now, Viswambara preaches and shows Krishna to Sachi Mata. After hearing Lord Viswambara tell the story of Dhruva Maharaj, Sachi Mata said, "Oh, wonderful golden boy, I will go with you too and spend my days discussing Krishna Katha. You will leave my home and shave your head. I will also cut off my hair, put on earrings, and wear the red cloth of a renunciate. In this way, as a yogini, I will go with you." For women, there is no concept of sannyasi. So Gauranga became perturbed to hear Sachi Mata speak like this. The omniscient Gauranga, the darling son of Sachi, thought of how to pacify his mother. Lord Gauranga said, "Please, mother, listen to me. Don't be disturbed over meaningless miseries. Repeatedly, I am telling you not to pay heed to greed, anger, false pride, and illusion. In reality, who are you? Who is your son and who is your father? Why do you lament over the false designations of yours and mine? Who is a woman? Who is one's husband? The only real shelter is Krishna's lotus feet. Krishna is the only father and the only friend. Krishna is the absolute Lord. He is the supreme treasure. I am telling you the truth. Without Krishna, everything is useless. Being bound by the Lord's illusory energy, the whole world is controlled like a machine. Due to pride and false ego, everyone suffers. One who considers his actions will act in a good way. Still, he is bound by his karmic reaction in next life. Forgetting Krishna, such a fool wanders in the material world. After traveling throughout the 14 planetary systems, one finally understands the rarity of the human form of life. In a moment, this temporary material existence, which is full of danger, can be extinguished. Appreciating the rarity of human birth, one should serve Krishna and get free from Maya. These bodies are meant for only for serving Krishna. And by doing so, one attains salvation. Simply by loving Krishna, you will become free from the cycle of birth and death. Mother, if you had offered your affection to Krishna instead of me, you would have received so much benefit. He is the real friend and well-wisher. He is the real mother and father. This is the Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter. Mata Data, Pitamaha. Krishna himself is saying, who gives one pure love for the lotus feet of Krishna. My heart cries in separation from Krishna. Falling at your feet, I am praying to you, Mother. You have showed me so much love and affection throughout my life. My liberation will guarantee your liberation too. Please give up your affection for me and serve the lotus feet of Krishna. Because material body, whom you receive from? Mother and father. Spiritual body, you receive from the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Give up this, when you give up this gross body, subtle body, everything will go away, and then we attain the spiritual body, everything spiritual, nothing material about it, like the Supreme Lord's body. We get from Supreme Lord Shri Krishna by following this process of transcendental realization, process of realization, bhakti yoga. Then we'll be able to completely, just like the iron becomes red hot fire, it's as good as fire, no impurities. So then same way, currently all these impurities are there. That's why the gross body is there. That's why subtle body is there. As you go downward planet, the body is more gross, no subtle. As you go up, more and more, no gross, very, very less, and then more subtle, completely subtle as you go up to the Brahma Loka. So that's how the bodies are made up of. and different elements are more and higher and small, low, is lesser. Like the sun planet, sun element is higher. That's why they can withstand that fire. So, but still it is a material. So one must give up this gross body and subtle body and attain spiritual body. That can only happen by the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna's mercy. I must take sannyas in order to attain the love of Krishna. Then I will take the treasure of Krishna Prema to different countries. Other mothers, sons bring the transient treasures of gold and silver which simply cause misery and death. Enjoying wealth and opulence is not the goal of life. I will bring the topmost treasure of Krishna Prema. Love of Krishna is eternal and imperishable in this world and the next. In every life, one gets a father and mother. Rarely, however, does one obtain a guru and Krishna. In the human birth, one should understand this importance of serving Guru and Krishna. One who doesn't accept a Guru is no better than a bird or beast. Feeling surprised and shocked, Sachimata just stared at Gauranga's face. The Lord of the 14 worlds removed her Maya. Suddenly, Sachidevi saw all living entities equally. At once, her illusory mentality of thinking Viswambara to be her son disappeared. She realized he was Krishna. He had a Syama complexion, resembling a fresh rain cloud. He wore bright yellow cloth and held a flute. In his threefold bending form, he stood in Vrindavana, surrounded by the Gopas, gopis, and cows. Sachimata became astonished to see her son like this. Her body shook and erupted in horripilation. Despite all this, she couldn't give up her affection for her beloved son. Sachimata thought, I am most fortunate to have Krishna as my son. My son Krishna is the rarest person in the universe. Nobody controls him. Then Sachimata said, Oh son, you are the supremely independent Lord, the jewel among all men. It was my fortune to have you grow up under my care. Now, as per your sweet will, you may go take sannyas. But I have one request. Why am I losing such great treasure like you? After saying this, Sachidevi's voice filled with joy, filled with pity, and tears fell from her eyes in streams. Although she tried, Sachidevi couldn't speak due to choking in emotion. Gauranga bent his head down in compassion for his mother. Again he raised his head and said, Dear mother, please listen. Because of your pure love for me, you'll be able to see me whenever you want to. Sachimata sobbed in grief. With a heavy heart, Lochandas describes this. You can see, nice pastime. Sachimata is able to see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Krishna with flute, with Shama, with golden, yellow color dhoti. It's all that exactly like Lord Krishna. Mahaprabhu removed her illusion and then showed this beautiful form. Now we'll read from Madhavendra Puri's nice description. And then we'll see if time permits. Wow, 8:11 already. By the divine arrangement, the auspicious appearance day of Sri Madhavendra Puri arrived. The Monday is Tirobhav, disappearance, but this is the appearance. But either way, not different. Appearance disappearance. Madhav Puri Aradhana Punya Tidhi Daiva Yoga Upasanna Haila Asi Tadi. Although there is no difference between Madhavendra and Advaita Acharya Gosani, between Madhavendra and Advaita Acharya Gosani was Madhavendra's disciple. It is certain fact that Sri Gaurasundar constantly resided in the body of Sri Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri's devotion service to Vishnu is indescribable. By Krishna's mercy, he was always fully empowered. Now hear attentively the auspicious narration of how Advaita became his disciple. Before the advent of Lord Chaitanya, the entire world was devoid of devotion service to Vishnu. Yet by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, even at that time, Madhavendra always floated in the ocean of ecstatic love. His body was always decorated with hair standing on end, tears, shivering, roaring, thundering, laughing, becoming stunned and perspiration. He was always so absorbed in meditation on Govinda that he did not know what he was doing. Niravadi Govindir Dhyane Nahi Bahya Apane Ona Janena Ki Karana Karya. Meditation is on doing on Govinda. Is not doing mechanical Ashtanga Yoga. Even while walking on the road, he would dance in ecstasy and chant the name of Hari. Sometimes he would lose consciousness in ecstasy for 6 to 9 hours. Sometimes, while absorbed in feelings of separation, he would shed tears like streams of Ganga. Such topics are certainly wonderful. Sometimes he would laugh loudly, and sometimes, in the mellows of ecstatic love, he would forget to dress. In this way, Madhavendra Puri enjoyed the happiness of Krishna consciousness, yet he was most unhappy to see that the world was devoid of devotion service. He would daily think about people's welfare. His desire was that Krishna would advent. No one knew anything about the festivals related to Krishna or all the night chanting of Krishna's names and glories. The only religious principle and pious activity that people knew was to sing the glories of Mangala Chandi throughout the night. This is goddess Durga. They used to have Durga Mandap, especially in Bengal, and I think in Orissa also. The only deities they knew were Sasti and Vishari, the goddess of snakes. They worshipped these deities with great pride. Some people worship the demons with wine and meat for the purpose of increasing their wealth and family. Everyone is happy to hear the glories of the best of the yogis, the best of the sense enjoyer, and the best of the rulers. Only the most pious persons would recite the names of Pundarikaksha and Govinda at the time of taking bath. By the influence of Vishnu's illusion energy, people did not know who was a Vaishnava, what was a Sankirtan, or what was the dancing and crying for Krishna. The entire world was entangled in the mode of ignorance. So that's why one must pray to recognize a sadhu or a Vaishnava. Otherwise, so it is not easy to recognize. On the name of sadhu Vaishnava, many people may act outwardly. So Sri Madhavendra Puri became distressed on seeing the condition of the people. He did not find anyone fit to converse with. When he tried to speak with sannyasi, the sannyasi would claim to be Narayana. His Maya was sannyasi who claimed to be Narayana. Because of this unhappy situation, he would not speak with sannyasis. He could not find any place where devotion service to Krishna was discussed. Even those renowned as gnanis, yogis, ascetics, and sannyasis never spoke about the glories of service to the Lord. All the teachers simply taught dry argument. They did not accept the Krishna as a form. This is a Nirakar form. But when Shastra says Nirakar means the Lord doesn't have material form, but spiritual form, Sachidananda Vigraha. On seeing and hearing such things, Sri Madhavendra Puri became unhappy. He considered going to reside in the forest. Why am I looking for a Vaishnava among ordinary people? In this world, I have not even heard the word Vaishnava. Therefore, I should leave these people and go to the forest so that I do not have to see them. The forest is a better place to live because I do not have to speak with non-devotees there. While he was unhappily contemplating in this way, by the will of Supreme Lord, he met Advaita. Advaita Acharya was greatly unhappy to see the entire world devoid of devotion service to Vishnu. Still, by the mercy of Krishna, the lion like Advaita always preached devotion service of Vishnu with firm determination. He constantly taught Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. He taught that devotion service was the top purpose of these two literatures. At that time, Madhavendra Mahasaya arrived at the house of Advaita. As soon as Advaita saw the signs of Vaishnava and Madhavendra, Advaita offered him obeisances, and Madhavendra Puri embraced Advaita and soaked his body with tears of ecstatic love. They both became so absorbed in discussing topics of Krishna consciousness between themselves, and they forgot about their bodies. The ecstatic love of Madhava Puri is beyond description. He would lose consciousness upon seeing a cloud, because cloud is Mega Syama, Supreme Lord Krishna's color. So that's why you can imagine this is the way how the pure devotee remember seeing everything and anything. They remember Lord Krishna. As soon as he heard the name of Krishna, he would roar loudly. In one moment, thousands of transformation, ecstatic love for Krishna would manifest in his body. Advaita Mahasaya was most pleased to see the manifestation of devotion service to Vishnu in Madhavendra Puri. Advaita then took instruction from him. This is how Madhavendra and Advaita met. Since then, Advaita joyfully celebrated Madhavendra Puri's appearance day every year. By divine arrangement, that auspicious day arrived, and Advaita happily began to make arrangement for the occasion. Sri Gaura Sundara and all his associates all felt great happiness on that auspicious day. There was no end to the arrangement made by Acharya Goswami to celebrate that occasion. Ingredients flowed in from all directions. No one knew who brought them or where they came from. Since everyone had love for Madhavendra Puri, they all accepted appropriate responsibilities. Mother Sachi took the responsibility of cooking. The wives of the Vaishnavas agreed to help her. Nityananda Prabhu was unlimitedly happy. He took the responsibility of worshipping the Vaishnavas, including Nityananda Prabhu himself, showing how to serve. Someone said, I will grind whatever sandalwood paste is required. Another said, I will make flower garland. Someone else said, I will bring the water. Another person said, my duty will be to clean the place. This is how we must serve. For Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Gaur Purnima, especially next week, Thursday, we all must serve in this way. Uh, Someone else said, my responsibility will be to wash the feet of all the Vaishnavas. Someone prepared flags, someone put up the canopy, someone brought the ingredients to the storeroom, someone distributed them. Some devotees began kirtan, some danced in ecstasy, some of the devotees chanted the names of Hari in the kirtan, while some blew conch shells and some rang bells. Some of them engaged in preparing the ingredients for worship, while someone took the role as head pujari. Being absorbed in the mellows of transcendental happiness, all the devotees engaged in various activities according to their desires. Nothing could be heard in four directions other than the name of Hari and instructions to eat, drink, take, or give. The sound of Sankirtan accompanied by conch shells, bell, mrudangas, mandiras, karatals was tumultuous. In this transcendental ecstasy, no one displayed external consciousness. The house of Advaita was transformed into the abode of Vaikuntha. Sri Gaurachandra personally wandered about, checking the arrangement with great satisfaction. Lord saw that there was 2 to 4 rooms filled with rice, and there were rows of wood for burning stacked like mountains. He saw 5 rooms filled with earthen pots for cooking. He saw 2 to 4 rooms filled with skinless moong dal. He saw 5 to 7 rooms filled with various cloth, and 10 to 12 rooms filled with leaf plates and leaf cups. The Lord also saw 2 to 4 rooms filled with flat rice, and he saw thousands of banana bunches. No one knew from where so many coconuts, betel nuts, and betel leaves came. No one could estimate how many rooms were filled with patola, eggplant, banana stems, potatoes, saka, and the upper portions of the Arabi plant. Arabi. This is Arabi, same thing I think. Arabi. Arabi means chamadumpa in Telugu, Arabi in English and Hindi. Yeah, even I think I forget. Even the leaves of the Arabi also they use for sak. I forget the name of that leaf. So all these patol is all the Mahaprabhu specials, eggplant, banana stems, saak, spinach. All these are favorite of Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu. You saw thousands of pitchers filled with milk and yogurt, and you saw condensed milk, sugar candy, and sprouted moon. The Lord saw unlimited pots of oil, salt, and ghee. I am unable to describe everything. On seeing this extraordinary arrangement, the Lord's heart was struck with wonder. The Lord said, प्रभु बोले यही संपत्ति मनुष्य नाय आचार्य महेश हेना मोरे चित्तलाय. The Lord said these opulence are not possible for an ordinary human being. I think Advaita Acharya must be Mahesh. How can an ordinary human being possess such opulence? Only Mahadev possesses such opulence. I can understand that Advaita Acharya is an incarnation of Mahesh. The Lord smiled and as he repeatedly spoke in this way. In this way, Mahaprabhu indirectly glorified the position of Advaita. A pious person accepts this truth with great pleasure. Advaita is like the incarnation of fire for anyone who is faithless, who disrespects the words of Mahaprabhu. Fire because Lord Shiva also considered as also incarnation of fire in some places. You will see that in my recording later on, Glories of Lord Shiva. He is like the fire of destruction for the persons averse to Lord Chaitanya. Even if one does not know the glories of Shiva, simply by chanting his name once, one will immediately be purified by all sinful purified of all sinful. This is the verdict of Vedic literature and Srimad Bhagavatam. It's Vaishnava Yatha. So one who becomes unhappy on hearing the name of Shiva floats in an ocean of inauspiciousness. My dear father, you are committing greatest offense by envying Lord Shiva, whose very name consisting of 2 syllables, Siva, purifies one of all sinful activities. His order is never neglected. Lord Shiva is always pure, and no one but you envies him. Alas, you are the personification of inauspiciousness. Lord Krishna Chandra had declared with his own mouth, why would anyone who does not worship Shiva worship me? How can a person who disrespects my dear Shiva attain my devotion service? How can a sinful person who is envious of the Vaishnavas attain devotion service if he does not respectfully worship my dear devotee Shiva? We read the other day also how Lord Shiva mentioned devotees of Lord Krishna are very dear to me. He told to Prachetas while giving instructions how to worship Lord Anuruddha, Lord Sankarshan. Therefore, one should first worship Lord Krishna, then after worshipping Lord Shiva with love, he should worship all the demigods. First one should worship Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all. Then one should worship Maheshwara, the best of the demigods. Thereafter one should worship all the demigods with full devotion. Because of Lord Chaitanya's indication, Advaita is accepted by saintly persons as that Shiva. Ignorant people who disagree with this fact cannot understand Advaita's glories and are therefore vanquished. I am unable to describe the unlimited varieties of new cloth that the Lord saw. The Lord was greatly pleased to see the arrangement, and he continuously praised Advaita Acharya. After seeing every one of the arrangement, Lord returned to where the Sankirtan was being performed. As soon as the Lord came to the place of Sankirtan, all the devotees there became filled with ecstasy. Who can describe the way the devotees danced, sang, played instrument, ran about in ecstasy? Everyone proclaimed Jai Jai. As they chanted the names of Hari, nothing could be heard other than chant, chant, Hari Bol. The bodies of all Vaishnavas were decorated with sandalwood pulp, and their attractive chests were adorned with flower garland. They were all intimate associates of the Lord. They danced and sang in the company of the Lord. The sound vibration of the ecstatic congregation chanting of the glories of the Lord purified the entire universe. Nityananda was like a wrestler, filled with happiness of ecstasy, danced wildly in the mood of a child. Advaita Acharya was overwhelmed with ecstasy as he danced without stop. Thakur Haridas danced in many different ways as everyone else danced joyfully. Eventually, Sri Gaurasundara Mahaprabhu began dancing in unlimited ways. After first indulging in all of his associate dance, the Lord finally began dancing along with everyone. Devotees danced in groups and Mahaprabhu Sri Satyananda danced in the middle. After dancing and singing throughout the day, Mahaprabhu sat down with everyone. Advaita Acharya then took permission of the Lord and went to make all arrangement for eating. Mahaprabhu sat down in the middle to eat, and all the devotees sat around him. The Lord in the middle appeared as effulgent as millions of moons, and the devotees surrounding him resembled the stars. There were many varieties of divine rice, milk cakes, vegetable preparation that Mother Sachi had cooked for the worship of Madhavendra Puri. As the Lord ate with all devotees, he continually narrated the glories of Madhavendra Puri. The Lord said, if one honors that prasad, here carefully, Prabhu Bale Madhavendra Aradhana Tidhi Bhakti Haya Govinde Bhojana Kaile Tidhi Iti. Lord said, if one honors the prasad that has been offered during the appearance festival of Sri Madhavendra Puri, he will attain the devotion service of Govinda. You see that? Madhavendra Puri. After joyfully finishing his meal in this way, Lord washed his hands and mouth and sat down. Advaita then brought fragrant sandalwood pulp and beautiful garland before the Lord. Lord then first affectionately offered sandalwood pulp and a flower garland to Nityananda Swarup. Thereafter, the Lord personally offered sandalwood pulp and flower garland to each and every Vaishnava. When the devotees received these items from the hands of the Lord, their hearts became filled with ecstasy. I cannot describe how happy they all were. As they then loudly chanted the names of Hari. There was no end to Advaita's ecstasy, for the Lord of Vaikuntha was personally present in his house. How can a human being have the power to describe all these pastimes of Supreme Lord? Even millions of years, no one could describe the pastimes that Lord Chaitanya performed in one day. As birds cannot reach the end of sky, one flies as far as it is able. In the same way, there is no end to Lord Chaitanya's glories. One can describe them only as far as one is able. So in this way, the Chaitanya Mangal, in Chaitanya Bhagavat, so Vyasdev here, Ananda Das Thakur is singing. Already time is up, so we'll stop. We'll continue the discussion of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya next week. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions, comments, reflections?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam. Very nice class, Prabhuji. So I was, like, can you just please elaborate a little more on the last part that you were talking about, how Madhavendra Puri's Maharaj's appearance day, when you offer the prasad to Gauranga Mahaprabhu and then honor it, then you'll get love of Godhead for Lord Govinda. Is that the correct understanding?
Where it is mentioned that how one should observe this festival and taking prasad, especially this is in that Shantipur, they celebrate. Panihati is one, and also this festival, this Madhavendra Puri's Tirobhav, this is mentioned here, Avirbhav, but even Tirobhav also, I remember reading in another place also, I think in Chaitanya Charitamrita, I think. Similar description is there. Advaita Acharya performed Govinda Dwadasi, the one which is coming now. That is remember correctly, it is not appearance, it is a disappearance. This the one past time we read. But either way, this is in talking about from the place where, but it can be done in any place. We by cooking in this way with love and affection, as many varieties as possible, and taking the Mahaprasad of Madhavendra Puri will be attaining Govinda, shelter of Govinda or Krishna Prem. Easily, that's what has been described. Let me read that again. 1 minute. Let me read that verse again. प्रभु बले माधवेंद्र आराधना तिथि Bhakti Haya Govinde Bhojana Kaile Tidhi. The Lord said, if one honors the prasad that has been offered during the appearance festival of Sri Madhavendra Puri, he will attain the devotion service of Govinda. Yeah, similar thing is there in the Tirubhavatidhi also. So, let me check the calendar. I think this is Tirubhavatidhi. March 13th, Sunday is Ekadasi, Amalaki Vrata Ekadasi, and Sri Madhavendra Puri's disappearance. Yes, this is called Govinda Dwadasi. Yeah, March 14th, just before Mahaprabhu's appearance. Yes, so that is in Chaitanya Charitamrita. I can quickly check. Let me see.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes, go ahead.
Prabhu, you read Mahaprabhu shown his form, Krishna form, in front of Chochi Mata, right?
Correct.
You just read. So that is before his sannyas, just before his sannyas or long before?
Just before. Yeah, just before.
Okay. And another thing is Advaita Prabhu, you already described the Advaita Prabhu, right? So
yeah,
Advaita Prabhu invited Mahaprabhu for Prasadam, right?
Correct. Advaita Prabhu, yeah, Madhavendra Puri's devotion service. Let me see.
And
yeah, Advaita Prabhu invited Madhavendra Puri before. This is in just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Ishwara Puri and served Ishwara Puri at his home in Mayapur, Navdeep Dham. Same way, Advaita Acharya also in Shantipur or Mayapur, I think Shantipur. He met Madhavendra Puri and then he took initiation from Madhavendra Puri and then he served Madhavendra Puri. So this happened that after that, later on, Madhavendra Puri's appearance day came, Vyas Puja day came. So that's when he cooked and invited all so many devotees, and so many devotees brought all these things. And then, so that's what has been described. What we read is that pastime of Avirbhav Tidhi. Same way, disappearance day also is there.
Yes, but that time, just Mahaprabhu at that time was not there, right?
Mahaprabhu is also there. The first time when he met, this is a different story, but after that, this is, yeah.
That means Mahaprabhu met Madhavendra Puri also?
No. That's why I'm telling. First we read is Madhavendra Puri came to Advaita Acharya's place. Okay, that time Advaita Acharya served Madhavendra Puri, then he took initiation also. After some time, Madhavendra Puri left. After some time, Madhavendra Puri is not there. But his appearance day came, Vyas Puja day came. That's when Advaita Acharya called everybody and served and worshipped Madhavendra Puri and offered so many items to Lord Krishna and then offered to Madhavendra Puri and then served all devotees. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, all of them were there. This is after. Madhavendra Puri is not there at this time.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Thank
first
you.
one was meeting because Advaita Acharya is almost 50 years or 46 years. Some is a big age difference. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's and Advaita Acharya. Yeah, I am seeing in text 111 in Madhya Leela of chapter 4 of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Advaita Acharya begged to be initiated by Madhavendra Puri. After initiating, Madhavendra Puri started for South India. So then he went to Remuna, and this is where Kshirachora Gopinath, this is Madhavendra Puri's pastime. So that's why
Yes.
one must offer on this day, one must offer this kheer to Madhavendra Puri on Dwadasi day. So yeah, I will try to find Disappearance Festival also. I remember reading that must be another I think Chaitanya Bhagavat or Chaitanya Charitamrita. I'll find out. So
Okay,
same thing
Prabhu.
is mentioned. Govinda Prem will be given. One who tastes, similar to the Pani Hatti. Advaita Acharya in that way is showed. Only Lord Shiva can arrange these many facilities as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is glorifying Lord Shiva also. So that is the way to worship Lord Shiva. How to? By serving, offering to Lord Krishna and offering that Mahaprasada. Every day that can be done. We show it to Lord Shiva, then we show it to six Goswamis and Prabhupada and then Guru, Tulsi Maharani. So in this way it can be done. But first it must be offered to Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, because that's the way you can see Jagannath Puri. That's the way Narada Muni's pastime also. Narada Muni waiting 12 years of Narayan Prasad, and then he gave a little bit also to Lord Shiva, jumping up and down. Then that only, and his wife didn't get it. That's how Lord Jagannath appeared to distribute to everybody, because Parvati Devi prayed in that way. Everybody needs to get. Why I didn't get? Lord Shiva ate everything. He didn't share everything. So at whole pastime, because of that pastime, one reason. That was one reason. So, anyways, yeah. Any
Yes.
other questions?
Thank you, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Chandras.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.